human race has spread far and wide, all over the world and beyond. And everywhere we go, we create waste, which is not really waste at all, but a valuable resource. It's a worldwide problem, and the solution starts right in our own backyard.
The world's a big place, and sometimes it's easy to think that what we do in our own home won't make much difference to the health of our planet. But the health of our planet relies very much on the daily choices each of us makes in our own backyard. Something we can all do to help save the environment is minimise waste.
By reducing the amount of useful materials we throw out in the rubbish, we will save space in landfills, space that's running out fast. Currently, our best efforts using existing methods will only divert about 45% of usable materials from landfills. A lot of the good stuff is being lost forever. By changing the way we look at what is and what isn't rubbish, we can conserve valuable resources and reduce some of the environmental hazards like the greenhouse effect that are created by the consumption of energy.
We all know that there are many problems facing our environment. Our children may never know the world as we know it, but everyone has a voice. As we face the challenges of the 21st century, together we can make a difference. We can create a better world for our children and our children's children. No matter where you are on the planet, the time to act is now. Set an example. Get involved. Do something. Thank you.
Saving the environment begins right here, in your own home. So your local council has put together this short video to give you simple yet effective tips on how you can minimise your household's environmental impact.
This program has been paid for through the sponsorship of some of Australia's leading companies and organisations. Through their own positive environmental action, these sponsors have a wealth of useful information to share with the wider community. Their contributions have been supported with funding from the Western Australian Government through the WA Waste Management and Recycling Fund.
So why is waste minimisation so important to our environment? Well, it's because the average Australian household throws away 1 tonne of waste per person per year. Times that by a family of 4.
Not only does all this rubbish waste valuable space in landfills, it also wastes valuable resources that could be used to make new products at a fraction of the environmental and economic cost of making brand new ones. Plus, with the introduction of new secondary resource recovery technologies, using thermal and biological processes, such as large-scale composting, will double the recovery rate, allowing up to 90% of waste material to be recycled or reused in some way. Secondary resource recovery is a key part of a sustainable approach to waste management.
This aluminium can is ready to be thrown out. Now, I have a choice to make. Should I make it rubbish or a resource? If I choose to see it as rubbish, I'll put it in my general waste bin.
And if it's not recovered from there, it'll go off to a landfill site and take up space for about 200 years before it finally breaks down. And because I want to buy more soft drinks in aluminium cans, an entirely new one will have to be made to replace it. That means more energy for mining, refining and manufacturing the aluminium.
Or I can choose to see it as a resource and put it in my recycling bin.
20 aluminium cans can be recycled for the same amount of energy it takes to produce a brand new one.
So here I am faced with a simple choice we all have to make every single day. It's a pretty simple choice, isn't it?
By the way, this is a great idea. It's a twin compartment kitchen tidy from Willow. Recyclables on one side, rubbish on the other. You can get one from your local Mitre 10 store.
Newspapers are one of those materials that we really should try to keep out of landfills. There are a number of different options to recover the value in used newspapers, including composting or recycling. And making paper from recycled paper takes 99% less water and around 40% less energy than manufacturing new paper. Recent statistics show that more than 1 billion newspapers are recycled around the country each year. This saves huge amounts of space in landfills. Australians are now recycling hundreds of millions of Type 1 and Type 2 plastic bottles. About 360,000 tonnes of glass bottles. More than 1.5 billion aluminium cans, and more than 600 million steel cans. From local councils through to major corporations, positive steps are being taken to reduce environmental impact. Your home is part of the environment too. The choices you make about the waste you produce are more important now than ever. From where you sit at the dinner table, it might not look like there's much waste generated by a family meal. But look at it from the point of view of your kitchen bin.
Minimising waste starts right here in your supermarket. For starters, try not using plastic bags. They aren't recyclable and there are billions of them used in Australia. Billions. Instead, try taking your own bag. Look for products that don't have wasteful packaging. The less you bring home, the less you have to throw out. Pre-packed fruit and veggies come with plastic wrap and polystyrene trays that you have to dispose of. Why bother? Save yourself the bin space and buy your fruit and veggies loose. As well as bringing less waste material into the home, it's important to minimise the environmental impact of the wastes we throw out. Check out these great ideas.
You may not know, but phosphates in laundry powder contribute to the pollution of our rivers. Pollution like blue-green algae that chokes our rivers of life-giving oxygen. If you look at most packs of laundry powder, you'll see they still contain phosphates. But if you look at Aware, you'll see it contains none. No phosphates, no petrochemicals, no optical brighteners. It's made with the safest ingredients for you and the environment. So choose Aware. You'll be supporting Planet Ark's campaigns and reducing your impact on our precious waterways.
G'day, how you going? Old medicines should be taken back to the pharmacy where they can be disposed of properly. There's a few, I believe. Cooking oil can be disposed of by pouring it into the garden somewhere like this, where it can naturally decompose. If you've ever spilled paint, oil or thinners, you know how messy this kind of stuff can be to clean up. Well, not anymore. Peat Sorb is a fantastic new product from one of our sponsors, Liquid Engineering. It's made from natural sphagnum moss and absorbs up to 10 times its own weight.
Sprinkle over the spill and peat Sorb will absorb all the liquid. Then just throw it away in your general rubbish bin. Peat sorb can be buried safely in a landfill because it won't leak into the soil, and it's very safe for the environment. In fact, all the products in Liquid Engineering's range are so environmentally friendly, they can actually be poured down the drain.
Now let's look at how to minimise the waste going out of your home to landfill. The key to doing that is good resource recovery. Household materials that can be recovered from the bin include food waste and green waste, which can be composted. Aluminium cans and foil trays. Glass bottles and jars. Milk and juice cartons. Cardboard. Newspapers. Magazines and glossy paper. Type 1, Type 2 plastic bottles. Steel and tin food cans, including aerosol cans, which can all go into your recycling bin.
Nowadays, even empty paint cans can be recycled, so don't throw them into your general rubbish, recycle them. It's worth throwing. Hey.
Don't put other metal products or batteries of any kind in with your recyclables. Crockery, china and pottery are not glass, so please don't put them in either.
There are 7 types of plastic in everyday use, but only 2 types are recyclable. Even some plastic product will say it's recyclable, like this plastic bag here, and says that it is recyclable. Sorry folks, the only things that are plastic bottles, and they come in many shapes and sizes: dishwashing liquid, shampoo, milk bottles, and on the bottom or on the side there should be a triangle with codes 1 or 2. They're the only codes that we can recycle. The other codes, 3 and up, are not durable enough and there is no market for them, such as margarine containers, pot plant holders, ice cream containers and so forth. None of these are recyclable. The only things are plastic bottles, codes 1 and 2.
Remove plastic caps and lids from all bottles and put them into your rubbish bin. Lids are not made from the recyclable type of plastic. Because sorting is done by hand, please do not put any dangerous materials into your recyclables bin, like broken glass, pieces of metal, chemicals or toxic substances, or syringes or other sharp objects. LP gas bottles must not be put into the recyclables bin either, as they expose workers to the risk of explosion. Instead, take them back to your local Clean Heat Gas Centre for reuse.
Don't put your recyclables into plastic bags. The bags can't be recycled and the contents can't be sorted. What you should do is put your recyclables in loose.
It's very important not to contaminate the recyclables with general waste. Effective minimisation, recycling and secondary resource recovery strategies will reduce the overall costs of waste disposal to the community.
To save space in your bin, crush all your lightweight recyclables like your cardboard packets, plastic bottles, egg cartons and milk cartons. And don't forget your cardboard boxes. In a moment, we'll show you how your recyclables are collected in your area.
Wherever you live in the city of Armadale, you're able to enjoy one of our community's greatest assets, the priceless natural environment that supports a diverse range of activities and lifestyles. Our community comprises some 19,000 households. Each one of these homes is responsible for generating a considerable amount of waste. The less waste we throw out, the more space we save in our landfill. The more waste we recycle, the fewer resources we use. Participating in our recycling program is as easy as putting out your rubbish bin. The recyclables are collected fortnightly on the same day of the week as your general waste. The list on the underside of your bin is no longer up to date because the development of new markets and new technology means more materials can now be recycled. Please refer to the recycling fridge calendar you receive each year for the current list of recyclable materials. The shaded weeks indicate your collection dates. Remember, collections start at 7 a.m, so make sure the bin is correctly placed at the verge in time for the truck. When placing the bin, remember that it has to be accessible by the robot arm on the collection truck. The truck will not be able to collect it if it's too far from the verge, too close to your general waste bin, facing the wrong way, or obstructed by a parked car or overhanging branches. Bins that are overfull or too heavy will not be emptied. Please make the effort to ensure your recyclables are not contaminated with general waste. The collection trucks are equipped with video cameras, so bins containing the wrong type of material will not be fully emptied. So why is it so important to reduce the amount of space we use in our landfill? Because landfills are no longer just dumping grounds for unwanted rubbish. They have to meet clear-cut guidelines set down by the Department of Environmental Protection, and the cost of this level of protection must be included in your waste collection rate. Groundwater is monitored to ensure environmentally safe conditions are maintained, and each day the refuse is buried and capped. Less waste going into landfill reduces the pressure on the surrounding environment, as well as the need to find an alternative site or more expensive method for disposal. This is a cost saving for all of us. At the City of Armadale's landfill site, residents can dispose of difficult items that aren't suitable for curbside collection. These include household quantities of chemicals, paint and oil. Asbestos can also be deposited, but must meet Health Department entry requirements. Please ring Council for more details. Fees for disposing of certain types of waste vary depending upon the material. For example, tyres cannot be deposited in our landfill. They must be sorted on site until a market is found. The cost of this disposal must then be reflected in Council's landfill fees. Green waste that comes onto the landfill site is mulched for resale. Since the introduction of curbside recycling, our community has diverted thousands of tonnes of waste from landfill back into the economy for reuse as recycled products. Council thanks you for the part you've played in helping the City of Armadale minimise the amount of waste being sent to landfill. Your continued involvement is crucial to ensuring our community continues to enjoy the benefits of a clean, healthy environment. For further information, call the City of Armadale on 9399 0111. Bradford Insulation is one of the most effective ways to save money, improve your comfort and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. By reducing the amount of energy required for home heating and cooling, you can knock nearly 60% off your energy bills. If you'd like to find out more, call Bradford Insulation on 1800 02 3380.
After your recyclables have been collected, they're taken to your local materials recovery facility for processing. Once all the materials have been sorted and baled, they're sent off to factories for recycling into new products. While recyclable products are being turned into new ones, general waste gets buried in the ground, where it takes up space for a very long time. Even some organic waste like food scraps, green waste and newspapers can stay there for much longer than you'd think. Because the waste is tightly compressed to conserve space, the natural bacteria and air that break down organic waste sometimes can't do their job. This is why it's important to look at increased resource recovery for all materials. Nowadays, most tips are managed properly, such as the Red Hill landfill facility, operated by the Eastern Metropolitan Regional Council in Western Australia. But we still need to minimise the amount of useful materials, such as recyclables, food waste and green waste, going to landfills, to increase their working lives and to prevent pollution.
Organic waste is not really waste at all. It's a valuable product, ready to be used as compost or worm food. Composting is the natural breakdown of organic matter to form dark, loose, earth-like material. Compost protects plants from moisture loss, slowly releases nutrients into the soil
and attracts earthworms. Composting is a breeze, and there are a number of compost bins and tumblers available, all with very easy to follow instructions.
This is a great one, the Innova compost bin. You can get it from your local Mitre 10 store. Things that can be composted in your backyard composter include green plant materials, lawn clippings, sawdust, manure, fruit and vegetable peelings, tea leaves and bags, eggshells, newspaper, even vacuum cleaner dust. Everything you put in should be as small as possible. Don't put in any large branches, meat, fat or dairy products, plastic, diseased or pesticide-contaminated plant materials. It needs to be aerated regularly by turning the tumbler or turning over the contents of the container with a garden fork. The compost needs to be kept about as moist as a lightly squeezed sponge. With just a little effort, in a few weeks what used to be waste is now a valuable addition to your garden.
Worm farming is easy. All you have to do is follow a few simple guidelines and you can be turning your food scraps into rich natural fertiliser. I'm using this little beauty, the Innova from Mitre 10.
Worm farms are available in various sizes and designs. The more worms you have, the faster they'll process the waste. They'll eat most household scraps, shredded paper towels or newsprint, but don't give them acidic food waste like orange peel or onions. They'll avoid it and may even leave the worm farm entirely.
Your worm farm should be placed in either a sheltered or shady position, either in your carport, your shed or your garden.
The family car is a big producer of waste products, exhaust emissions that pollute the atmosphere and contribute to global warming.
One of the easiest ways to cut down on those waste products is to convert your car to LP gas.
Clean Heat Gas pioneered LP gas conversions in Australia. Clean Heat Autogas is currently one of the cleanest burning fuels available. Today, 97% of all taxis in Australia use autogas. It burns without producing harmful carbon monoxide fumes. It's non-toxic, non-corrosive and lead-free. Because it burns so cleanly, it also improves engine life. Many business operators are now converting their entire fleets to autogas.
Autogas is easy to use and much cheaper than petrol.
To convert the average car to autogas takes an investment of about $2,200. In most cases, it pays for itself within about 40,000 kilometres. You can calculate the estimated cost of a clean heat gas conversion for your car online. During 2001, the WA state government will contribute $500 per vehicle towards the cost of converting to LP gas, or the purchase price of a new LP gas-powered vehicle. The incentive is available on all vehicles on which the family rebate is claimed. In addition, all Western Australians who successfully apply for a Clean Heat Gas card will receive an additional $200 discount on vehicle conversions arranged through approved Clean Heat installers.
The use of autogas has been increasing by about 10% per year all over Australia. And now it's available in thousands of outlets nationwide.
If you'd like to know more about the benefits of LP gas for your car, heating, cooking, or for information about any type of gas appliance, call Clean Heat Gas on 132 180.
Another recyclable item that every house has to deal with is right here in your letterbox. Unaddressed, overflowing bits of mail can clog our drains and eventually end up in our waterways, polluting the natural habitat and all sorts of wildlife. By having a MailGuard approved letterbox, you can stop unaddressed mail from spilling out into the environment.
For a letterbox to be MailGuard approved, it has to meet certain guidelines. The best size is 230 millimetres wide, 330 millimetres long and 160 millimetres deep. It should have a wide front slot so you can receive large objects through the mail, like this video you're watching now. It should also have an angled lip to prevent mail theft and keep your post dry, and a lock at the back for extra security. The best place to locate your letterbox is close to the front verge. MailGuard approved letterboxes can be found at most hardware stores. Just look for the MailGuard logo. The MailGuard letterbox not only helps to protect the environment, it protects your privacy by giving you greater security. The wider mouth, safety slot, deeper box and lock helps keep your mail out of reach and out of sight of everyone but you. And once you've read all your mail, don't forget, you guessed it, it's recyclable. For a whole lot of other fantastic tips, facts and figures on waste minimisation, check out the Planet Ark website.
Hi, the name's Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan. Welcome to Planet Ark. You don't have to be James Bond to save the world. Just get on the internet and go to Planet Ark. Every day you can read the latest Reuters World Environment News, getting information you need to stay informed and make a difference, no matter where you are in the world. If you want to do something, act now. It's time to get on board. Planet Ark.
By recognising that wastes are resources, waste minimisation, recycling and resource recovery are the easiest and most effective ways every household can participate in doing something positive for the environment. The less you throw out, the less space is taken up in landfill. By recycling more, less resources are used to manufacture new products. By composting or worm farming, your own backyard can become a healthier, greener, more pleasant place to be. Composting can also occur on a large community-based scale, producing valuable compost products from food waste, yard waste, and even paper. This is a great way to recover resources, and it benefits everyone. Even with the best waste minimisation and recycling practices and most efficient landfill operations, our communities won't be able to meet the necessary environmental targets the government has set. To reach our targets, we need to look at waste management not as the management of wastes, but the recovery of resources. An integrated strategy that has a number of different solutions, including waste minimisation, reuse, recycling, secondary resource recovery, and when necessary for certain types of waste, landfilling. Today, around the world, there are new secondary resource recovery facilities that have many environmental benefits, like energy generation and the production of soil products, all from our waste that's now going to landfill. These facilities are state-of-the-art and meet new strict environmental standards. The best way to become involved in these new and exciting resource recovery solutions is to support your local government in their efforts to identify more sustainable solutions. You can still play a part in the development of these innovative strategies because community support for appropriate secondary resource recovery technologies can be just as effective as reducing, composting and recycling your waste at home.
Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. In the big picture, our own backyard may be one small tiny dot, but when all the dots change, so will the big picture. And we'll enjoy a healthier, more environmentally sustainable world for ourselves and for our kids. Go to it, folks.